Hello, my name is Brad Seelan, and I have the great privilege of serving as a success coach with Transformation Network here in Ashland, Ohio. And right now in the stage of life that my wife and I are in, we have a toddler who's about ready to enter preschool. We have a son who is entering his last year of elementary school, and our daughter is starting high school. She'll be a freshman here in a few short weeks. As you can imagine, this was a year we expected change, but none of us could have expected quite the amount of change that we're facing now if we were asked that question of how much change is on the horizon, even this past February. And yet, there is still a reality. We have to face it. We can't hide from it. We can't run from it. This is our reality. And so what we have set in our home, and hopefully this might be an encouragement to you, is an acronym of how we can ace this coming fall when our children return back to school. This acronym ACE, A.C.E, simply stands for these three tasks that we do in our home every day: acknowledge our emotions, clarify our boundaries, and establish a routine. Things that we can do when things are peaceful, and as well as things that we can do when they get chaotic and upside down, like the time we are facing today. So how do we do these three things? Well, first, acknowledge our emotions. I know for you, and much like us in the Western world, we struggle with communicating our emotions. The fact is, we need to be honest with them. Both as parents and as children, we need to help create a safe space where we know there is safety in being honest and vulnerable and truthful about how we're feeling. Whether we're excited or joyful, whether we are fearful, whether we're anxious, whether we're uncertain, angry, whatever it is, we have to be able to have the space to go up and out with our emotions. To stuff them, to repress them, to hold them back only does ourselves harm and those around us. Being truthful, acknowledging our emotions, it's an important tool for us to utilize together to ensure families are moving in the same direction, that there isn't a pull to the opposite ends, but a joining together, moving forward in lockstep. Though we may feel differently, we want to make sure that we're knowing where each other are at so we can deal honestly with how we're feeling. Along with acknowledging our emotions, though, we need to clarify our boundaries. And by clarifying our boundaries, we help establish every arena of life in its right context. You see, a healthy perspective on boundaries isn't how to keep everything out and away, but instead, healthy boundaries help protect that which is important to us, fiercely guarding the important things within our life. And so defining what your important things are within, getting a whiteboard out and writing down the things in your family that are critically key, important things that you're not willing to negotiate, not willing to give up, not willing to compromise. And develop boundaries around those things so that they can be protected, they can be guarded in this upside down, unpredictable, unknowable time that we face right now. For our family, some of those boundaries, some of those things that are non-negotiable is family time. Some of them are our recreation, play. We have to play as hard as we work in our family to work well. And so we make sure we carve out times every week where we're having fun together, we're laughing, we're playing games, we're going for a hike, whatever it might be. Your family might be different, it might look differently, but whatever it is, clarify those boundaries so that you can protect those things that are within that are important. And the last thing, establishing a routine. I don't know if you're like our family, but routine got thrown out the window March 13th when our kids' last day of school took place in 2020. And yet, every day we have to choose to have a routine that works well, that functions well, that helps our family, helps our home, helps my work thrive. It's nearly impossible to set the same routine we had in March. Here in August, we're still unsure what this fall is going to look like. However, it doesn't mean we can't have a routine. We need to do the hard work that is necessary in establishing a routine that works for our family and then stick to it. I love how a friend of mine described a routine-free life. He says, a free-for-all, loose schedule is nice for snow days or other short breaks, but it cannot be a pattern and a routine in our life because the lack of routine becomes a routine for boredom. A difficult time getting back, especially for our kids, into the educational routine if the absence of a routine structure lasts. So how is your routine being established in your home? How are you choosing to structure your day in an unstructured world right now? Now give yourself the benefit of the doubt. Don't go comparing your schedule to your friends or to your family members. I have 4 siblings, and all 5 of our schedules look vastly different based on the life circumstances we each face. But do a structure, create a routine that works for you and for your home. A routine also that gives space for the unexpected. A routine that gives space for the impromptu. But a routine, nonetheless, that creates structure that brings benefit and happiness and hopefully productivity for your home as well as your work. Like I said when I began, this was a year that was supposed to be a year of great change and unexpected opportunities. And even though everything around us changed greater than anything we could have hoped or imagined a few short years ago, let alone a few months ago, one thing has not changed: the reality of the new challenges ahead. And so just like we've done in our home, I hope you're able to do in your home. Create a space where you can acknowledge your emotions. Acknowledge how you're feeling in this moment. Create boundaries, clarify boundaries that protect the things that are important in your home. And then establish a routine, route to the activity that you find most rewarding and most productive in your home. If you do these 3 things, I assure you, you may not find every day a peaceful day, but you will ace this next season that we're entering as parents, as our kids return back to school.